This is chapter number 6, Colonialism and the City. The story of an imperial capital. Delhi we are talking about. The making of New Delhi. We talked about Shah Jahanabad. Shah Jahan made it. 1803, the British got the control of Delhi. How? The Britishers got this by defeating the Marathas. The Marathas. But since the capital of British India was still Calcutta, please remember now it is Kolkata. So at that time, the capital was still Calcutta. That's why the Mughal emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar and the previous, they were allowed to stay here in the Red Fort, Lal Killa. Why? Because the capital was not Delhi for Britishers. But when we talk about modern city, when it came into being, this started in 1911. The city, modern city, which we call New Delhi, it only came after 1911 when Delhi became the capital of British. So this picture which I wanted to show, before 1857, the developments in Delhi was not like other cities. For example, if you take colonial states, other colonial states, Delhi was not like that because presidencies, Madras, Bombay and Calcutta, the people were living differently. That is, the Indian people were living in these bastis, or we call it as black places, black areas. And the whites were living in white areas. So there was a clear separation in the main cities which I just talked about. But this was not clear distinction in Delhi. In Delhi, if I talk about the first half of 19th century, that is before 1850, British used to live because there was a walled city. So British used to live where? The Shahjahanabad I'm talking about, the walled city, Purani Delhi, Chowdi Bazaar, all lies there. So the Britishers were living along or alongside whom? The wealthier Indians, the rich Indians. They would live in the vicinity or in the neighborhood of the Indians who were rich and wealthy in the walled city. And they were also very, very neighbor to them in terms of culture and poetry. So the Sanskriti, culture, poetry, the Britishers were also enjoying it. And they were also participating in the local festivals along with these wealthier Indians. One more thing, let me tell you. This picture you see is the Delhi College picture. And this was established in the year 1792. And not only the sciences but also the humanities, that is the Manav Shastra, was also being taught. Though it was in Urdu that time, but still it was a very important thing which happened. There was an establishment of Delhi College in 1792. So people say from 1830 to 1857, this period, most of the people say this was the period of Delhi Renaissance. What is this Renaissance? When certain things like the poetry, like the culture, like the language, like the sciences, this adds up to the history. That is, Renaissance is the rebirth of art and learning. This term is used to describe a time when there is great creative activity going on. People are contributing. So there is one more word which has come, you must know about this, Gul Faroshan. Gul Faroshan is the festival of flowers. Festival of flowers, Gul Faroshan. Okay. Now these all changed after 1857. I told you 1857, it was the time of the greatest armed revolt in the 19th century. And this was the rebellions, basically. The rebellions, they gathered near the fort and they wanted to meet Bahadur Shah Zafar, and they wanted him to be a leader. But finally, because of the uprising, he accepted this leadership, Bahadur Shah Zafar, and he became the leader of the uprising. And for 4 months, rebels had Delhi. But when the British regained the control, okay, then they started all the revenge and the plunder campaign. Means they want that what has happened in 1857 or whatever these rebels have done, we are going to do tit for tat. So Ghalib, famous poet was there. He said that these Britishers, they ransacked Delhi after 1857 because he called them angry lions. When they entered Delhi, all the people, because there were few rebels, all were not rebels. There were men, women, kids, but British, they didn't see anyone. They just burned house, killed people. It was all rampage, revenge and plunder they did. Now the Britishers, what they wanted, they just don't want this 1857 kind of thing to happen again. So they sent Bahadur Shah, Bahadur Shah and the wife to Myanmar, to Burma, present day Burma, Myanmar, where Bahadur Shah ultimately after 4 years he died. And then all the things which he had, like his court, it was clearly dismantled. The palaces, all were razed, all were destroyed. And they all gardens were closed. And all the places of good being were made as the barrack for troops, the British troops. It was chained to British troops. They just don't want this Mughal footprints to be there. They just want to wipe out. So it's clearly being written, British wanted Delhi to forget its Mughal past. That even some Mughal past was there, they don't want it. Because Delhi was basically showing the Mughal valor, the prestige, the emperorship. Because Mughal, they actually gave so much to this country. Right? So this is the Jama Masjid picture you see here. It's densely populated. You see a lot of structures here, buildings here. And this is a wall which I'm talking about. It was a complete walled city. Right? Now I'll show you a picture again. Can you find out what has happened? Everything is finished. Only the wall you see and Jama Masjid. Other were cleared. All were cleared. And you see Yamuna also on the background. On the background you see Yamuna. So what happened here was, they wanted to clear or wipe out, they wanted to rebuild it or whatever they were intending. But the basic thing was, the garden, the pavilions, the mosques, they just completely cleared them off, wiped them off. But one thing they did, they never touched the temple. They left the temples, Hindu mandirs, intact. Why? Because the British were saying, I'll just tell you some name, Bakht Khan and Faizabad, Maulvi Sahab, and the leader was Bahadur Shah Zafar. So all theirs were Muslims. So they thought these patriotism and the Mughals and the Muslims, they are actually trying to do everything for their country, for their land. So that is why they were targeting Muslims and targeting their Muslim, these gardens, pavilions, mosques, etc. But they never touched temples. All the mosques, they were either destroyed or were changed or put into some other uses. This is a very famous mosque. It's called as Zinat al-Masjid. This was at that time very famous mosque, and you won't believe this was converted to a bakery. Now at that time you can get biscuits and bread from here. See, the masjids and mandir are highly respected holy places for the people who have believed in it. Okay? But they did whatever they wanted to do. They didn't allow the masjid, Jama Masjid, to be used for 5 years. That is no worship, no namaz. So 1/3 of the city they wiped out. They demolished. All the canals were filled up. They made it plain. because at that time canals were the prestige of Mughal emperorship. So what do you see here? These walls, the western part, the western walls of Shahjahanabad, that is walled city, they wanted to enhance the railway line, so they just broke it because they wanted to extend this railway line. And also I wanted to show you this picture. This is a civil lines area. Now these Britishers, Englishmen, they started living in civil line area, and the Indians, they were living here in the old city, and they don't want to stay with Indians. So the Delhi College, which I showed you just now, this was first made as a school. It was a mark of Renaissance, and finally it was closed, shut down in the year 1877. So these pictures you see what they did, because they wanted to just clean the Mughal footprints. Now new capital. How this new capital, New Delhi, came up? So there are various things which are going to come. After 1857 revolt, this Englishmen know that they have to create their impression. So how to do this? The only thing is just small events, make it big. Showmanship. So 1877 I'm talking about. He is Viceroy Lytton. And he organized a very spectacular event, a Darbar. And he acknowledged this Queen Victoria as the Empress of India, Bharat ki Samragyi. So this was a very, very huge event, gigantic event. 1877 I'm talking about. But remember, this time the capital was still Calcutta. The capital of Britishes was still Calcutta. The only thing was, they knew after 1857 that the Mughals have respect in Indian heart. Mughal were still important to the people of this country, because Mughal has given a lot to this country. That is why they knew that we need to wipe out this importance of Mughals from the Indian subconscious mind. So what they did? They did everything spectacular. One more event I'll tell you. Everything pompy and showiness they wanted to show. They wanted to show everything with all their might. That Mughals are died down. They are just done. So in 1911, this is a very important date, 12 December 1911. You see here, he is King George V, and he was crowned he was given the crown and made the king in England. And it was happening in England. But in 1911, there was again a very big celebration. But this celebration again was done in Delhi. This was again, this was another event. And this was all with their might and spectacularness. And here they did announced that Delhi is our capital now. So the capital was changed from Calcutta to Delhi in 12 December 1911. This is a picture which shows that you see more than 1 lakh people, including princes, British officers and soldiers. They gathered in this grand celebration, Darbar, grand event, grand show. So now here Delhi became the capital. So Delhi was constructed, New Delhi. I'm talking about New Delhi now. New Delhi is actual Delhi which you see today. So New Delhi was constructed, it was 10 by 10 square mile. Please remember, 1 mile is higher number than 1 kilometer. So it was 10 by 10 square mile, and this New Delhi was made on a hill, and this hill was called as Raisina Hill. It was Raisina Hill. So please remember, New Delhi is made on Raisina Hill. Right? So what do you see? How was it made? Because it's so beautiful today. It's our pride today. Everything is here in Delhi, New Delhi. So I'll show you 2 architects. The right one is Edward Lutyens. The right one you see is Edward Lutyens. That is why people call the people in opposition, this is Lutyens zone, this is Khan Market gang, all this. So Herbert Baker and Lutyens. The left one is the Herbert Baker. So these were two architects. They were hired and they were given the job of designing New Delhi and all its buildings. The panorama, the architecture, the view, all this was given to these two gentlemen. So I'll show you, this is Raisina Hill. So you see a Rashtrapati Bhavan. It was called as Vice Regal Palace. Vice Regal Palace at that time. Right now it is Rashtrapati Bhavan. So you see this, there is a height. And this dome I'll talk about. This dome are special. So there is a way, there is a path from India Gate till Rashtrapati Bhavan, from here to here. And this is called the Rajpath, where 26th January parade is held. And this is called as Kingsway at that time. Kingsway. From India Gate till this, the Viceroy Regal, which I showed you, which is the Rashtrapati Bhavan today. Both side of this, you see the big building, Secretariat building. This is Hyderabad building, Hyderabad House, Baroda House, Bikaner House. This is not block. And most important, from where the country is run, is the Parliament of India, Parliament House. Okay, so this was whole plan. You know that Delhi Central Secretariat, this is your metro station. Okay, so this was being made, and the look and feel is the blend from different periods. Mainly the Greek, that is the Greece 5th century BC, the classical Greece architecture was taken, and the central dome of the Viceroy Regal Place, that is Viceroy Place, which is today's Rashtrapati Bhavan, was copied from Buddhist Stupa at Sanchi. Buddhist Stupa, the Sanchi Stupa, it was copied from there. I'll show you the picture just now, but the red sandstone and the carved screens, jalis, these were taken from where? The red stone, Lal Balua Patthar, and these jalis, screens, they were taken from Mughal architecture. They wanted to, destroy the footprints of Mughals, and they used their red sandstones and jalis. So this, let me show you, these are red sandstones. Here you see this is the dome from Sanchi Stoop, Buddha's Sanchi Stoop. Okay, so these roads are so big. If you see, this is like an airport, and this is a Raisina Hill. You can see a steep elevation, and Jama Masjid, they wanted that this building has to be higher. The Viceroy building has to be higher than the height of Jama Masjid. This is very important. They wanted to show their power, that we are now the leader. We are the Rajas. That is why Jama Masjid was kept below. So New Delhi took around 20 years to build, complete. The main idea was that they don't want Shahjahanabad kind of stuff. Because the Shahjahanabad, Old Delhi, was very crowded. There were people everywhere. There were very narrow lanes, by-lanes. Okay, you can see the maze of narrow by-lanes even if you go today. And New Delhi, they wanted to have big, broad roads, see. From here to here, these are people, they see. This kind of roads they had, and this is not in just here. If you go to New Delhi, you will actually find these big roads everywhere. So the main thing was, the mansions, previously it were Havelis, so they made big mansions, big area, acres of land. They wanted to have a clean and healthy environment, because they thought that Shahjahanabad or the new Old Delhi is not good health-wise. It has all the disease, etc. They wanted a good water supply. They wanted a good sewage disposal. The basic requirements, they wanted to have good basic requirements. Water supply, sewage disposal, and the drainage facilities, which was not good in the old city. Right? They wanted everything to be green. So if you go to New Delhi, you'll see greenery. So they wanted green trees, and they want it for the fresh oxygen, for fresh air. They just want to have a proper place to live. This is how it was being made. Right? So Viceroy Harding said certain things, and Herbert Baker also said certain things, and they said it for good, the vision of New Delhi. Life in the time of partition, and this we are going to take in the next discussion. Till then, thank you so much. Take care of yourself.